Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at the book of 3rd John. John wrote three little epistles, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. 1st John, the longest of the three, and 3rd John, probably the shortest epistle in the New Testament, actually in the Greek New Testament. Now, one of the things that I have noticed as we're studying through these three books and we're trying to finish up on 3rd John is that John loved people and he really wanted to encourage people to do the right thing. I notice we've said already, this 3rd John is written to a guy by the name of Gaius. It's very personal. He mentions his name. The first two epistles, he doesn't mention people's names. In 1st John, he writes to little children. He said, I write to you little children. He said, I write to you fathers. I write to you young men. And so we have these three different categories of believers. It looks like in 1st John that he's encouraging in their Christian walk, in their Christian life, to love one another, to love God, to be an example of people that truly are followers of Jesus Christ, and how to have the assurance that you are saved and that you are in fellowship with the Lord. And you have these categories, or these people in progress and growing, children, little children, he calls them, and young men and fathers. In 2nd John, he writes to the elect lady in the church and her children. And again, we don't know who this lady is, but I believe she could represent those dear people in the church who care. Nobody cares like a mother cares. Nobody has a heart of sympathy and compassion and care like a mother. And so, right to you, lady. And he's warning her, be careful who you let come into your house and teach false doctrine among you. But he's encouraging her also to continue to walk in the truth and to love in truth. Now, in 3rd John, we have Gaius. And Gaius, we've already found out, is a man who has a soul that prospers. He, it says, is in good spiritual health. Even though John said, I'm praying for you that have physical health also, which means maybe he had some physical ailments that also prompted maybe his spiritual health to really depend on God. Sometimes when we're healthy physically and materially, things are taken care of for us and financially we're set, we forget to depend on God like we should. Well, Gaius had to depend on God, and wow, did he depend on God and had a soul that prospers. Now, I believe, and I just want to see this and point this out, here's a man named Gaius that we read very little about in the rest of the Bible. I've never ever done a study on Gaius. I preached a lot of messages on David and Samson and all the Old Testament characters, Gideon, Moses, Adam, Noah, etc., and so forth, and even in the New Testament, Peter, Paul, James, John, Luke. We have all these characters. But who has ever heard a message on Gaius? Well, John takes time to talk about this guy by the name of Gaius. I write to you, my beloved Gaius. And he says, I rejoice greatly when the brethren came. They testified of the truth that's in you, just as you walk in the truth. And I have no greater joy than to hear my children walk in the truth. And so here we notice that John has this connection with Gaius, that possibly he had even led him to the Lord. He's one of his spiritual children. He's led him to faith in Christ. And he says, this brings great joy to hear of the witness that you have, the testimony you have. And so Gaius is not only has a soul that prospers, he has a witness, he has a testimony. And oh, may God help us to have a witness and a testimony to the lost and the people in the world around us, and even a testimony to the believers. He says, because you do faithfully whatever you do for the brethren and for strangers who have borne witness of your love before the church. So these people came and told John about the witness of Gaius and how he had a love for the church and the work of God. Oh, today, it's only by the grace of God that we can do anything that we do for the glory of God. But I encourage you, maybe you fall in the category of just a born-again, brand-new Christian who needs to mature in the faith and become a young man, become a father, spiritually mature, to be a lady in the church, an elect lady in the church that cares for the people in the church, or to be a Gaius, strong in the faith, loving the Lord, having a great witness. And tomorrow we're going to talk about his ministry that he also had, that John wants to look at and encourage. So God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.